Shalom, Israel. It's your brother New Breed coming through with another live stream, giving you that spiritual voltage you signed up for. Peace and blessings to everybody joining the chat. Your boy Kyrie Irving, NBA superstar of the Brooklyn Nets. He has a powerful message for the millennium generation. And a lot of what this brother is about to say, I definitely share the same sentiments. It's part of what I've been teaching for quite some time now. And he's going to make some very pivotal points that I would like to add to. And it's refreshing to see men of a certain stature who are making certain strides and waves, and people who are successful in their respective fields to actually show the concern enough, the integrity enough, and the care enough to actually speak certain messages out that need to be delivered for this generation, the millenniums. We talking about from 81 to 96 babies. A message that we must know. And we can learn a lot from this particular message. And it's a great thing. Now, I know a lot of people are upset that Kyrie Irving apologized to the so-called powers that be and things of that nature. Personally, I don't really get caught up in the apology when anytime these situations take place, whether it be the Nick Cannons, whomever may stand something to lose and they end up apologizing. I don't really get caught up in that too much because we never know what type of battles these people are actually facing. We don't know what they're going against. We don't know if their lives are in jeopardy, which I believe they may be. It may be deeper than just livelihood, and it may be deeper than just losing material possessions and a slap on the wrist. We just never know what type of circumstances these people are in. And me personally, I'm the type of person that I can take what was planted and actually water that seed, opposed to me getting caught up in them apologizing, them going back and forth with the media, them going through whatever the situation is they got to go through. I rather focus on what the information initially was that was put out there and what I can take from that information and how I can use practical application and utilize it for my life. Right. And I believe all our people should do that. All our people should take the information given and learn how to extrapolate certain things from certain people. Right. And the Most High is clearly working. And I want to go ahead and share this message. Kyrie Irving has a message about this system, and he has a message directed towards the millennium generation. I'm going to be chiming in.
Right. And I'm going to ask y'all from my soul to yours, please do not get distracted out here. Please do not fall victim to what the system is putting out there. It's a lot of misinformation. It's a lot of trauma going around.
Now, let me stop it right there. He says, please don't get caught up in the distractions that this system is putting out there. He says, not only is it a lot of distractions, but it's a lot of trauma going on. Now, we heard Kanye speak of the same thing. We heard Ye speak of the same thing about a trauma-based society where they put certain things out there that are so shocking that it causes trauma within the people. And then they get caught up in the lie of the trauma opposed to actually seeking something greater and operating on something higher. For instance, when we talk about this takeoff situation, part of the ritual that the media brung forth was to show you this man's lifeless body laid out in that bowling alley, because they understand that those depictions, same way they did with the George Floyd situation, seeing the knee to the neck. Listen, what that does to a society is it causes trauma. In order to distract you, the first thing they have to do is shock you. So I think Kyrie is very aware of some of the distractions that's put out there. Although, of course, we seek for the truth in regards to that situation, we must not get caught up in the distraction of the trauma, of the fear, of the sensationalism, of the misinformation, and anything that the media puts out there. So understand that there is a energy harvesting going on in this society, and we must not get caught up in it. We must elevate higher. All right. Let's continue.
It's a whole lot happening in our world, and the system wants you to be depressed, wants you to be in a state of being that is low vibrational.
And that's just a fact. This system want you to be depressed. They want you to become desensitized to seeing death, destruction, anarchy, chaos, confusion. They want you operating on a low level. They want you lethargic in all your ways. They want you to be operating on the lowest frequency possible. They don't want you elevating. They don't want you thinking with peace in your heart. They don't want you seeking after the creator. They want you to be on this low vibration that Kyrie Irving speaks of.
All right. It's it's a change and it's a shift in what's going on in our world right now. And I'm letting you know.
Let's go back.
I'm not being in our world right now. And I'm it's a change and it's a shift in what's going on in our world right now. And
ladies and gentlemen, it is a metamorphosis taking place in this world right now as we speak. There's a great awakening taking place where the enlightened ones, the chosen ones, are actually elevating the new plateaus. The God gene is being initiated in God's people. The seal of the Most High is on people, and there's a shift taking place, and there's an epic spiritual battle taking place. And if you are an empath, it could be a bit overwhelming at this time. And I know a lot of you brothers and sisters know what I'm talking about. It can be very overwhelming feeling this shift take place, this transition, this tug between the two realms. Being careful not to fall into the pulling. You know what I mean? It could be overwhelming for an empath, but you got to elevate higher. You got to focus on what's going on. You got to let go of the stress. Although times are uncertain, you got to put things into the hands of the Most High. Real talk. And understand that He's in control when your intentions are pure and you're trying to do what's right for you and your people. Because there's definitely something happening and it's big.
And I'm letting you know, I'm not being arrogant or anything like that, but from 1981 to 1996, this millennial generation, I hope y'all know, we're here to shake some shit up.
Facts. Those are big facts right there. I'm going to tell you right now, our generation, like you just said, from 81 to 96, we built different. We built a little bit different. And this is what I need y'all to understand. And I'm putting this out there because, and I'm highlighting that because we got to learn from our forefathers. We got to learn from the generation that came before us, the mistakes they made. And they made mistakes. And that's not to dishonor what they done right with us. There was a lot of freedom fighters that came before us. But let's just be real and let's just be straight up with this. There's a lot of old ninjas that's in the way that don't want to see people of our generation make it. We can't do the same thing with the next up and coming generation. Somebody had to say it. There's a lot of hating older ninjas out there that don't want to see our voices be put to use. They don't want to see us elevate. They don't want to see us make changes. A lot of them don't like our voice. There's a lot of jealousy. And let's just be 100% with it. We can't make the same mistake that they made because it caused a good amount of division. It caused a good amount of division. Psalms 145 and 4 says, one generation shall praise thy works to another and shall declare thy mighty acts. So we're supposed to praise with what the former generation done before. Now let's make it clear. 60s, 70s, they did their thing. Like, let's not get it twisted. And I, of course, I couldn't possibly speak for everybody of my generation, just like somebody born in that time couldn't possibly speak on everybody of their generation. But let's let it be known, we got to start revering each other, pointing out the positives of what each generation did. And we got to carry the torch. We got to show respect where respect is due, and don't just defecate on the next generation. Psalms 105 says, "For the Lord is good, his mercy is everlasting, and his truth endureth to all generations." See, right now in the age of information, the truth that's being put out there, the truth that's being put out right out here right now, this great awakening, it's going to have a lasting impression on every generation to come. Brothers and sisters, speaking about the children of Israel, who we are, our true identity, these laws, our history. Listen, it says, "For the Lord is good, his mercy is everlasting, and his truth endureth to all generations." This must be passed down to all generations to come, right? From here on out.
We're here to shake some stuff up. But in order to shake some stuff up, right? And the next generation, Gen Z, is going to come right after. So they're watching us, right? Then you got my kids' generation, which is very young.
Right. So we doing this listen, we doing this for the next generation. You know what I'm saying? Them scriptures says, "Train up a child in the way you have them go, they won't depart from the faith." So we training up our children to know this truth. We teaching them the fear of God, the knowledge of truth. Psalms 102 verse 18 says, "This shall be written for the generation to come, and the people which shall be created shall praise the Lord." Yeah. It says, "This shall be written for the generation to come, and the people which shall be created shall praise the Lord." The people that we want to bring forth, we want them to be praising the Most High. And listen, all honor and respect due to the elders that put in the work, but they got to have respect for the for the next generation, just like we have respect for their generation. Let's continue.
But I got on here to say this. Please do not get distracted out here emotionally, spiritually, because the system itself is, is dying. Is dying. Old ways of living, the old ways of doing things.
Yo, he just said something real key. The system as we know it right now is dying. It is dying. But see, this truth shall live on. Daniel 4 and 3 says, "How great are his signs, and how mighty are his wonders. His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and his dominion is from generation to generation." Listen, this system that we see right now is a shadow of things to come. The things that we see going on right now, we won't see that in the future as long as we do what's right by the Most High. He will protect his own. He will protect those who fight for him, and he will recreate this entire planet. Psalms 119 and 111. "Thy testimonies have I taken as an heritage forever, for they are the rejoicing of my heart." Like, the Most High God is bound to his word. Like, all we got to do is change the narrative. We have the power to do it with the information that we have now, and it's way too much. Ladies and gentlemen, we know way too much. We was never supposed to know all of this. It is a miracle in itself that we know what we know right now. It's a miracle. We was never supposed to know through their education system, through their propaganda, through their Hollywood, through their media tricks, through their smoke and mirrors. We were never supposed to know what we know now. But it's too late. It's too late. It's out there. Let me go ahead and go back in. Let's see.
It's not gonna last for too much longer, y'all. I'm just saying. And I don't know anything, right? I don't know all the answers to what's going on, but I'm
Yo, now you got to understand this is an NBA player who's traveled the world, had the fame, the notoriety, the success. He says, listen, all I know is this ain't going to last for long. See, all of the Most High's people can tell that this is not going to last for long. Whatever type of chaos the world powers got going on, uh, the anarchy can't last. You can feel that the last are fitting to finish first. And whatever they got going on, it's just not sustainable. And it's almost like a keg ready to blow. It's in the air. You can feel it everywhere you go. It's almost like a looming, daunting, yet hopeful feeling. If I can put this in words, what it feels like every day, it's looming, it's daunting, but it's hopeful. It's like you know something rigorous is coming. You know that there's a challenge ahead of you. You know that you're going to be faced with a lot of adversity in the near future. But at the same time, it's almost, the word would be, it's almost invigorating. The challenge that we are to face is an invigorating challenge that will bring forth a new dynamic, a new level, a new stage of consciousness, um, something that is incorruptible, something that is unfallible, something that they cannot take from us. No matter how hard they try, it's something coming that they can't take from us. And it's going to put them on their heels. And I'm talking about anybody who's an oppressor. I'm not talking about any specific religious group or anything of that matter. I'm talking about anybody who is an oppressor, anybody who has evil intentions for the righteous, because it doesn't hold no color lines. Anybody who wants to stop truth and stop people of righteousness from rising from obscurity, to the Lord is going to destroy you. He's going to remove you. He's going to remove you. You're not going to be able to harm his people no more. Isaiah 49:25 says, "But thus saith the Lord, even the captives of the mighty shall be taken away, and the prey of the terrible shall be delivered. For I will contend with him that contendeth with thee, and I will save thy children." Yo, the Most High said, listen, I will contend with him that contendeth with thee. Anybody going against y'all, I'm going to save my children. I will even have their mighty men destroyed. I will have their mighty men annihilated. It's nothing like, listen, it'll be nothing they can do. And whatever's happening, even the rich and famous, the people who don't stand, they stand everything to lose and nothing to gain. Do you understand? People like Ye and people like Kyrie Irving, they stand everything to lose and nothing to gain because they can feel what's coming. They know it's there. They know it's there. The same feeling that I'm getting every day. It's like a bit of nervousness, but at the same time, joy. Nervousness with peace involved. Almost like that feeling when you know you're about to get on stage and it's thousands of people on stage. Thousands of people, and you're nervous and you get butterflies, but at the same time you feel good because you know everybody that's going to be in that audience is people of the Most High, people of like mind. That's the feeling. It's like anxious but joyous at the same time. I mean, I can't even describe it. It's undescribable what the Most High puts in my heart from day to day as this awakening continues to grow. It's indescribable. All right, let's go.
and I don't know anything, right? I don't know all the answers to what's going on, but I'm saying this to y'all specifically because it's important that those that understand that are aligned and what's going on around here,
Oh, let's go.
emotionally, spiritually, because the system itself is is dying. Is dying. Old ways of living, the old ways of doing things. It's not.
Hey, for the guy that said, "Hey, new breed, you're getting played," because this guy has certain tattoos on him. Listen, I'm not worried about his tattoos. I'm not worried about him as a person. I don't know Kyrie Irving. See, this is the issue with our people. We don't know how to extract information. I get tired of saying that. Nobody's playing me, sir. Nobody's playing me. I don't know this person. All I'm doing is taking what he's saying and adding to it. So for that reason, I'm blocking you because I've explained this already too many times. Too many times I've explained it. So let me get you on up out of here. I'm not even gonna play the block button because we don't need to do all of that. I'm just gonna get you out of there. Get information. This is the problem with people. We trying to judge people personally instead of getting what they're saying. You only can get a person's words. That's it. Judge him by his words. All right, let's continue.
Last for too much longer, y'all. I'm just saying. And I don't know anything, right? I don't know all the answers to what's going on, but I'm saying this to y'all specifically because it's important that those that understand, that are aligned and what's going on around here, that y'all paying attention, because without us making a change right now and shifting our consciousness, our kids they're gonna fall victim to this system too.
Exactly. That's what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to avoid our children falling into the same mistakes that we've made, the same mistakes that our generation before us have made. We want to make sure that Gen Zs know what's going on. They got to know this word. They got to understand it. Them scriptures tell us. Let me go to it because this is important what the brother's bringing out. And it's just a good thing that people in his position are even worried about the next generation to come and not just living in the moment. Luke 17:2 says, "It were better for him that a great milestone hang about his neck and he cast to the bottom of the sea than that he should offend one of these little ones." So we don't want to misdirect the youth. This is why I can't stand a lot of these rappers, a lot of these extortioners. I can't stand a lot of these individuals who corrupt the youth. These individuals who don't give a damn about what their message is. Those people who don't mind misleading and misguiding those who want to come up. Like, yo, it's better that you have a great millstone tied around your neck and cast at the bottom of the sea than harm these youngins. That's our future. You're supposed to care about the next generation. Psalms 146:9. The Lord preserveth the strangers. He relieveth the fatherless and widows, but the way of the wicked he turned upside down. See, even the fatherless youngins out here. There's a young man right now listening to this video, no father in the picture. It's our responsibility as men to allow the Most High to work through us so even the fatherless can have a voice of reason. So even the fatherless can have guidance. And so what Kyrie Irving is doing with his platform is powerful because he's an NBA player. A lot of young men going to look up to this guy, and he's speaking a positive message. We want our children talking about elevating their frequencies. We want our children talking about, operating on a higher level and changing their state of consciousness into something which is positive. We want them following a Kyrie Irving who's a baller before we want them following a thug, before we want them following a damn Jay Prince Jr. talking about mob ties. You understand? This is what we want. We want our youth to follow somebody who's speaking positive, opposed to them following, gangbangers or gangster rappers that's talking about shooting and killing their brothers. You know what I'm saying? So let's not be judgmental. The brother's saying some real stuff. We do need to elevate higher. And it's important that this generation, the millenniums, that we know that we have a great responsibility to make sure we set an example for these youngins. I'm telling you, we got to set a good example for them.
And the system I'm talking about it's a myriad of objective topics that we follow since we were kids, which is sex, love, relationships, religion, culture, class, finance, entertainment, media.
All the things that led us on a downward spiral, all the things that we've been miseducated on. We've been miseducated on all these things. When it comes to sex, the first thing we're given in school is a condom. And they tell you that here, this is safe sex. Get out there and practice quote unquote safe sex. We wasn't taught how to be husbands. That condom was like a badge to whoremonger. So we need new sex education. The new sex education is, listen, having sex is to create life. If you feel like you need one of these, maybe you shouldn't be dealing with that individual. We wasn't taught that. Now in schools, these people are getting taught self-love, or they getting told that to have two parents of the same sex. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to finances, we're not taught none of that. Instead, in school, we taught how to do division, but we ain't taught how to write a check. We ain't taught how to save our money. We ain't taught how to put away certain percentages. We're not taught how to invest in stocks and bonds. We're not taught how to get involved in real estate. What we taught in school? Fractions. So, I mean, everything the brother is saying when it comes to culture, what is our culture? When you look at black culture right now, what is it? Cardi B, Meg the Stallion, is shaking your behind, stopping at the red light, twerking at the headlight. Is that our culture? We need to know who we are. We the children of Israel, the Bible speak of. He said, what else he said? He said finances. He said culture. He said sex. These are the things that we're not being taught the right way. And in order to find out what the real is, you got to peel open that book because there's laws in there. There's laws in there.
Social platforms at this point.
And then he also said entertainment and media. Entertainment and media is what got a lot of these youngins out here shooting and killing each other. Entertainment and media is pretty much a double-edged sword in which we can use in a more positive way.
Please do not fall victim to these things that are being manipulated and controlled. Please do not. Please do not. We have so many truth tellers out here that are doing the right things. And I could point them out, but you have to have your own level of discernment once you're consciously awakened.
And see, he just said something real right there. And I think that's the part that a lot of people are missing. He says there's a lot of great teachers out there that are doing something positive. And he can point them out, just like he pointed out H2N. He could point them out all day. But see, the issue with our people a lot of the times is we're looking for a savior. We're looking for a man to die on his sword, lose everything that he has gained. We're looking for a man to lead us to the promised land when only Christ can do that. He can give you the information. I can give you information. I can say, y'all, we got to read these scriptures. I can get on here all day and it can be soothing. The message can be motivation. It can be uplifting. It could be that spiritual voltage that you signed up for. Don't get it twisted. It could be all those things. But what are you going to personally do with it? It's up to you to have the discernment needed to properly divide the word, take it to the next level, apply it, teach your children, and make sure they grow up in the truth. And it's not just a coping mechanism with the current climate that we in, because there's people out there that listen to the word, and it's only a coping mechanism. It's almost like a therapy for a season or for a time period, and people not taking it serious. So that's what the brother's saying. He could put information out all day. Anybody who speak the truth know exactly what I'm talking about. You could put information out all day, but it's up for the people to receive it. That's what's going to change. That's what's going to change the world. Applying what's being done, applying certain methods like supporting your people. When people talk about support, that's application. That's showing action. You know what I'm saying? Like doing for your brothers and sisters, honoring your neighbor, treating those how you want to be treated, not slandering no more, not gossiping, being straight up with people. These things. That's what's going to change the entire world. Learning these principles.
To what's really going on. And I could go on and on, but look, I have to speak in general topics because it gets too mixy. You know what I'm
What he means by that is when he gets too deep into these topics, he's mixing business and personal. You understand? Because we don't know what kind of contracts they have to sign. He could have been going against his contract, sharing certain things online. We don't know what's in those contracts. Because at the end of the day, they own your life in all perpetuity, meaning you become product of the NBA. So he doesn't want to mix business and personal, and I don't blame him for that. Like if you're a businessman, you don't mix business and personal. It just is what it is. You can be an actor doing your thing, but know the truth. But guess what? What you're doing with your money is you helping your people. And what you teach your family is the truth. As a man, you really, to be totally frank with you, let me keep it let me keep it 1,000 with you. As a man, truthfully, you're only responsible for your family. You really only responsible for providing for your family and raising your children the way they should be raised. Now, as men of truth and men of honor, you want to put the truth out there, but you don't want to risk your business and the way you provide for your children to do so. You know, and that's just what it really boils down to. That's why he said, I'm not going to go too in depth because it gets too mixy. You don't mix business and personal. Facts.
saying? But I hopped on here specifically to share something with y'all. My generation, the millennial generation, we got to be better. We got to be better.
We do. And I think that's a call for all of the people of our generation to do better. Don't hate on the next generation. I feel like the former generation before us, in some degree, they dropped the ball. But guess what? We dropped the ball too. You see how this comes around? We should be able to criticize. I'm able to criticize the former generation because I feel like a lot of them be hating. It just is what it is. They be hating. They don't like the fact that brothers got voices, that brothers use social media to speak to the world. They don't like the fact that a lot of people of our generation have found out how to own businesses. We don't Our generation really don't go for the step and fetcher, just tell us anything. Now we kind of march to a beat of our own drum. If listen, we just don't believe the nonsense, and ain't nobody finna talk to us any kind of way. Ain't nobody finna tell us anything, and we finna follow it. And that's just the thing about our generation. We came up through the crack era. We seen a lot. We seen our family's transgressions, and we really not having it. We gonna stand on our own. And I feel like a lot of the former generation before don't know that. And I feel like the problem with our generation is we don't want to age. We don't want to become mature. You know what I'm saying? Our generation don't want to be those OGs, don't want to be those leaders. We want to be in them streets, and that's the problem. And I mean, I don't like the fact I see people, my age behaving a certain way. Like we can grow up. It's safe to grow up. We didn't held it down. We doing our thing. I ain't telling you because we ain't old, but I'm saying it's okay to mature. See, every generation be having certain flaws. But one thing for sure, and two things for certain, our generation ain't gonna play nobody just saying anything to us or telling us anything without us digging deeper. We'll sit up there and nod our head. Oh yeah, really? Oh yeah, those the chosen people. Okay, all right. And you know what we do? We go home. We get on the internet. We do our own research. We do our own research. We just don't take heed to what people say, which is part of the awakening.
My millennial generation, we got to be better. We know too much of the truth.
This generation knows too much of the truth to drop the ball. Straight up, we know too much of the truth to drop the ball, man. Ain't no way we know that we the children of Israel. Ain't no way we in the age of technology, the age of information, and we drop the ball like we know too much. Like everybody born in our time, everybody who came up in this internet era, everybody who had all of these wonderful teachers, all of these elders, all of these real teachers and kings and prophets, and they're out here. We know too much. We get too much info to drop the ball. We can't drop the ball. Y'all understand? We have to teach our children better. We can't make the same mistakes the former generations made, because one thing that they didn't have is they didn't have all this info. They had to take to the streets. We got to do better. Listen, even the Israelites before me, those brothers had to they had to really travel. Those brothers had to link up with certain brothers and certain locations to learn the truth. They had to go out on the block, learn from different people. There was a lot of word of mouth. They got a lot of their foundation from the concrete. They got it from the jungle. Like them OGs, when they be talking about that, it's for real. But us, our generation, come on now. We got the internet. We should be having the maturity to be able to lead the next generation. Yeah, it was way more challenging for them to get info, man. It was way more challenging for them to get truth. Straight up. So that was one of the deficiencies that they didn't have. Yeah, we got the world at our palms. The world is at our fingertips. Real talk. So Kyrie's right. We do need to do better as a whole. As a whole, we need to do better.
Please do not. Please do not. We have so many truth tellers out here that are doing the right things. Um, you know, and I could point them out, but you have to have your own level of discernment once you're uh, consciously awakened to what's really going on. And I could go on and on, but look, I have to speak in general topics because it gets too mixy. You know what I'm saying? But I hopped on here specifically to share something with y'all. My generation, the millennial generation, we got to be better. We got to be better. My millennial generation, we got to be better. We know too much of the truth.
Now he gave y'all H2N. He gave you the documentary. He got suspended. He told y'all what was up. You got two powerful brothers in Hollywood telling the children of Israel who they are. And I know the conscious community is sick. I can just imagine y'all sitting there looking crazy right now. Y'all looking real frustrated right now. I can imagine a lot of you so-called Christian ministers out there who kept saying that we was ham. I could just see y'all. I can see y'all right now while I'm speaking right now. I know that some of y'all watching. Some of y'all Christian pastors who kept saying that we ain't this and we ain't that, and that God's people are Middle Eastern, and God's people are these people and those people, and trying to negate who we are. I know that y'all sick right now because you got Kyrie, you got Ye, you got multiple other celebrities saying, actually, we the children of Israel. And they would know because they traveled. They've been all around Africa. They done seen the Limba tribes. They done seen the Ashanti tribes. They done seen the people of Nigeria. They know who the people are. They done done their history, done their research, and I know that y'all mad right now. I know that y'all Christian pastors, yeah, it's gnashing of teeth going on. I get it. I know. Y'all been trying to attack the word. Y'all been lying. Y'all been slandering. But guess what? Let me lift out an olive branch to you. Y'all can do better. Instead of being prideful, I know I've been wrong many times in my life. Lord knows. I'm pulling out a olive branch and saying, listen, even you can do better. Even you can do better. Listen to the words that's coming out of Kyrie's mouth, Ye's mouth. Listen to the words that they're saying and just take heed. Change up things in your church. If you got a huge congregation, a huge church, you know what? A lot of y'all, especially here on these YouTube streets, y'all need to change up y'all's whole sentiments. Y'all need to go to the people of your church. And if you're going to lose people, you're going to lose them. But you need to tell them the truth and stop playing these mental games with these people. Because one part of generations bridging together and this word being put out there is us actually knowing how to let go of foolish pride. You got to learn how to let go of your pride. It's foolish. The truth is out there. The cat's out the bag.
And sometimes that will put us in places where we're fearful or we have anxiety
Wow. He says sometimes that'll put us in places where we're fearful and have anxiety. Let me get the context of that.
of the truth. And sometimes that will put us
I think he's saying because, let me go back a little more.
consciously awakened to what's really going on. And I could go on and on, but look, I have to speak in general topics because it gets too mixy. You know what I'm saying? But I hopped on here specifically to share something with y'all. My generation, the millennial generation, we got to be better. We got to be better. My millennial generation, we got to be better. We know too much of the truth. And sometimes that will put us in places where we're fearful or we have anxiety.
He says just knowing too much of the truth puts us in places where we're fearful or we have anxiety. That is absolutely true. Remember, the Bible says, too much knowledge causes much grief. There are times where we know so much that we get so overwhelmed with it, and we don't know how to facilitate all this information, and it can make us very anxious, and it can make us nervous, especially when we are either going through certain things in our lives or we're faced with certain adversity because of this truth. uh, Especially when we know that we must speak a word, we know that we must bring something forth. Something needs to go out there and we need to say it, but we'll get anxious, we'll get nervous. I don't know if it's for some people, they're worried about what other people are going to think, they're worried about what other people are going to say. They're worried about losing the acceptance and approval from other people. They're worried about having persecution, or it could just be that they're not standing on a solid foundation and they need more time to nourish the truth, more time to study, more time to build a stronger foundation. There's a few things, but all in all, you have to turn to the Most High when you have those feelings of anxiety that so many of us chosen ones feel in this journey. You must turn to the Creator and ask Him to take away all the nervousness, all the uncertainty, all the anxiety. You got to pray it away. Some things you got to pray away.
And in order to make an impact out here that is generationally sound, where it lasts for not just one generation, but for 7 to 10 to 20 generations now, we have to break free.
He's been reading that Bible. See, he's thinking about generations to come. He's been reading that word, man. His brother's been reading that word. Telling you. Them scriptures tell you. It says in Psalm 71 and 18, now also when I am old and gray headed, O God, forsake me not until I have showed thy strength unto this generation. Woo! That's a prayer that I have myself. Psalm 71 and 18. Now also, when I am old and gray headed, O God, forsake me not until I have showed thy strength unto this generation and thy power to everyone that is to come. Telling you, this is how we are supposed to feel as men. Do you understand that it's in a man's nature to want to show the generation what it is? You know what I can't wait for? When I look at my sons and they're very young, right? But when they grow up, I can't wait to sit there while they're men, sit on the couch, have my Cavassier, maybe a cigar, and I'm sitting there talking to my sons, and I'm giving them all kind of game, all the wisdom that I know, everything I know, just pouring into them, just pouring into them, pouring into them. Don't you know that's all? This is what I live for, because I know that they can bring the truth to the generation to come through them, through the next generation. it could be passed down to the whole entire world. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I feel about it. Like that's how it is. Yeah, drinking. Yeah, come on, man. Like y'all grow up, man. Yes, I drink sometimes. Yes, yes, yes. Ain't nobody say nothing about being an alcoholic. Don't come in here with all that religious junk, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, somebody say I got two boys too. I can't wait for that time. Yeah, man, it's gonna be real. That's real stuff right there. Yo, D-Rail, thanks for the $10 contribution. Says, wow, you spoke my mind when you said we need a stronger foundation. I know where I'm headed, but I have so much to say, but I can't articulate it well yet. Oh, it's coming, bro. It's coming. You'll be able to articulate it when the time is right, for sure.
That is generationally sound, where it lasts for not just one generation, but for 7 to 10 to 20 generations now. We have to break free mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically. You know what I'm saying? It's not easy to do it, but we have people out here that are willing to extend a helping hand and do it, you know? And I went live on this main page.
Now, it's real talk. There's people out here who willing to lift an extended hand to help guide this new generation. That's what it's all about. We want to make sure the generation to come know what's up. If people gonna be risking their livelihood putting the info out there, then it's up to us to take it and run with it. Psalms, listen, hold on. Let's go to Exodus 34 and 6. And the Lord passed by before him and proclaimed, the Lord God, merciful and gracious, long suffering and abundance in goodness and truth. See, this is how we must do it. We got to be long suffering. We got to be abundant with goodness and truth, man. Always willing to bring it out. Speak what's right, what's righteous. That's the type of example it's going to take.
Because I know that, you know, some people are going to take this as, oh man, this guy's, what is he talking about now? This guy thinks he's, and it's like, it's not even about that. I don't even have energy to give that to, or to give to that today, you know, or any point in my life. But I will tell you this, we got to be better. We have to protect our youth. We have to protect our ways of life.
We have to protect our youth and our ways of life. We can't let these people intrude on us. If we paying tax dollars, there's certain things that we got to do within our cities, man. Go to the city council meetings. Go to the town hall meetings. Don't just and if they're not going to do what needs to be done, and this is what you do. If they're not going to do what needs to be done, homeschool your children. Homeschool them. Teach them what you need to teach them. They got certain programs called unschooling in certain states where you can really be hands-on with your curriculum with your children. Sometimes you got to move to different places just to make sure they don't get inundated and sabotaged by these demons out here that they hiring for teachers. Because that's important too. You got to protect them. You know what kind of teachers are up in these schools right now? Straight reprobates. I'm talking about the creepy crawlers is in them schools right now. I'm talking about straight Disney Channel workers. Straight from the Disney Channel, right into your school. So he's saying some real stuff, man. These are things that are practical that we can apply immediately.
We have to protect the kids that are looking up to us. So my millennial generation, this is a call out to you. No, real talk. This is a shout out to you. As Gen Z's watching and our older generation is waiting for us to take control of the wheel. And
now that's some real talk right there. He said even our older generation are sitting back watching us. Not only are the Gen Zs looking up to us, but the older generation, they sitting back waiting for us to take the wheel, waiting for us to be freedom fighters. A respected elder in my family said, yes, she actually called me and said, it's time for us to fall back. and let y'all take control. It's time for us to fall back and let y'all lead the way. That's some real talk. So there are elders who actually have wisdom, knowing that okay, this generation, they're not hopeless. They can take the wheel and they can do something with it. Seriously. Yeah, somebody said homeschooling is the best for our kids, especially in this day and age. Real talk.
And lead our world into new places, new ways of thinking, because it's not happening, you know, without the proper techniques and strategies. Um, it's not happening if we're not prepared. So, you know, and I say my generation because the millennial generation is because we help create a lot of these social platforms.
We help create a lot of these social platforms. This is why he's directing this to this generation. And he's absolutely right. He's absolutely 100% right. We are the ones who drove traffic to this platform that you on right now. Yeah, they're pioneers. There's certain brothers that actually contributed to the growth of this platform who never gonna get the credit that they deserve. But there's a lot of people out there who done this, that helped build a lot of these platforms from our generation, that helped put this thing in motion. And this is why we got stuck in this race. And this war against information, we are in it. Whether we like to admit it or not, we in it because we got to fight to put out truth. We got to fight to put out conscious content that's positive. We got to fight with the algorithms. We got to fight to put out information. So we in this war. We in this war. And if we can lead by example, and if we can do something more positive and we can be careful what type of messages we putting out on social media, then let's put our best foot forward, man. Let's stop beefing with each other. Let's stop, you know what I'm saying, doing all this drama, this drama content, and let's speak something that's going to actually motivate the generation to come, that's going to trigger something in them. So I like what Kyrie is doing. I like that he's calling attention to this generation. I think that's important. I feel like there's brothers and sisters of our generation that have dropped the ball, and we could just do better. One thing our people really need to know from our generation is one key component, and I gotta say it. Listen, be doers of the word and not just hearers. I think that I think that's one of the biggest messages to our generation. Be doers of the word and not just hearers. You can't you can't hear all this positivity. You can't hear all these things and not put your best foot forward to be a part of the movement, to be a part of the support system, to be a part of helping your people grow and develop in any way they can, and helping your neighbors, actually putting your best foot forward, attempting to start these businesses. Actually be about your action. You got to be about action. If you persecuted in one place, flee unto the next. If there's certain doors of opportunity not being opened up where you at, learn how to move, man. This is what I learned a few years ago. Listen, I don't stay stagnant long. Don't stay stagnant long. Don't just hear the word, but be doers of it. That will make all the difference right there with our generation. If we just stop being lackadaisical and we start actually doing what we're hearing, doing it, putting it into action, making sure that we got our 10-year plan and we're actually following through with it every day. Put away your manifestation journals and stop waiting. Listen, stop waiting for the world to end too. That's another thing. Don't wait for the world to end. Yes, we in the last days, but still you got to get up and make something happen. You got to make something shake. Life don't stop. Yeah, we going to the creator with our prayers and we asking the most high to be there with us in every step of the way. But we don't listen, he didn't command us to just sit back and wait. The Lord says, what's faith without works? What's faith without works? It's dead. It's dead. You gotta actually do. You gotta apply yourself in everything you do. Apply the pressure on those around you who hating on you, who don't want to see you doing nothing. By applying yourself, you putting pressure on them devils too. One door, exactly. One door closes, another opens. Don't sit around. Listen, don't sit around feeling sorry for yourself in this time. Listen, you might not even be where you want to be in life at the moment. It may have been certain doors closed, and you may not be where you want to be at the moment. But you got to remember, this is not a race. This is not a race. A lot of people get down on themselves because they're not in a certain position in their life. And you get down on yourself and you become lackadaisical because of it. You stop moving. You stop doing what it is you were set forth to do. You got to listen. There's a reason why a lot of y'all 80s babies is aging like fine wine out here. The Lord giving you more time. He's putting grace on y'all. Some of y'all 80s babies, y'all looking young out here. There's a reason for that. He putting some grace on y'all to keep moving, to keep pushing, keep striving for what it is you're supposed to be getting. And keep the faith. You know, keep elevating in positivity. Keep positivity in your soul and your minds and pour that down to your children, because one thing for sure, your children can sense when you surrounding yourself with negativity. They have heightened senses. Your children can sense when you not on your purpose. And guess what? If you ain't on your purpose, they ain't on their purpose. They can sense when mommy or daddy is stressed out, worried. They can sense uncertainty. We got to protect these babies from that. We got to protect them from that by just doing what we're called to do. Old Nevada says she 85. I'm 85 too, old Nevada. You look good. Look, old Nevada 85. And she looking good too. Look at her. Y'all see her 85. See, it be like that. I'm telling you, man. We gotta keep on going. We gotta keep striving. And for everybody who not born in that particular time frame, like don't feel like that this message ain't for you. Don't feel like that, because some of y'all got some old souls out there. Um, shoot, some of y'all older folks got some young souls. But the bottom line is, let's learn from each other. Let the generations show some respect for each other. Let's take the information that's been presented from real teachers and scholars, and let's apply it to our lives to be better people, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the message for tonight. All praises to the Most High. Look, we got him. Look at Goddess. Another 85. See, you can't make this up, people. Look at them. Y'all see them? They fine, bro. 85. Looking fine like wine. You can't make it up. I'm telling you, beautiful ladies. I mean, they out here. Hold on. Look, I gotta show y'all a couple more before I close out. See? Look, she said 79. Look. See, I'm telling you. Yeah, they definitely in the house. Helena said 1974. Oh, see. See, we got all age groups, all demographics. Look at Indigenous Queen, another 85. Goodness. All these fine 85 babies, man. 85 was special. Good gracious, 85 was special. Dang. I think I might have the finest women in my chat on YouTube. Good gracious. Yeah, you see, hey, BR, you see all these fine 85 women? That's crazy, bro. That is crazy. All the beautiful queens in here. All praise to the Most High. Beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. But man, peace and blessings to y'all, man. Thank y'all for joining in. Hopefully, y'all got this positive message. I got more content coming. If you like my commentary, be sure to like it, share it. You know, let me know in the comment section what you think about the content. and whatever you would like to add on to it. Thank y'all for catching another show. With that being said, shalom and peace.